Alrighty, hi everyone, welcome to another video, and today it's gonna be about front end and how I mostly write code front end and like how you can build actually good quality front end. Simply by coding. And just for this demo, I am using this, which I think is pretty neat, right? You can see this already, and it's not just a dashboard, it is leads page which I have also created, and this was like super fast, and then a projects page, and you can have a form for new project which is also itself pretty neat, and boom, invoices, you can create new invoices. Obviously everything is marked on the front end only, but the point is, yeah, I also have clear code by the way. How can you repeat the same process? And because a lot of people struggle with like building not exactly good front end but clean front end and having a design system, so without any issue, I think shared scene, the biggest component in my whole design philosophy is simply shared scene. You can see its components and you can use them, so they have a lot of components, and I have some favorite commands as well. I think I'll have to. It's like npx shared scene install all, something along those lines. I keep it organized with me. um, what I really like is they have all these setups, theming. What can you do? You can set up different themes and you can set it up for mono repo, and I can like just uh, do a lot of this JS and blocks. So the reason I use this is because the way I work is in my code base. I always keep a components folder, and within it, not this. I think it should be on the most outside components UI, right? So this has pretty much everything that is provided by shared scene, and the way I use it is every component that I want to make is just made up of this, which helps me ensure there's a consistent design philosophy to some extent. What happens is, shared scene honestly has a lot of these components or blocks, right? So if you see this DreamOS landing page, this is actually a copy of this block, and what you can do is you can preview it and you can even see the code. So a lot of initially starting point that a lot of people might use, it's already provided there. Like you have these blocks, boom. You want a block for your website where like you have all these subcategories and models and all that jazz. Come here. If you want a sidebar with some menus that has a long list, so if you're building a documentation page, boom, come here. You can use it. If you want a login page, boom, come here. You can see the code. Like a lot of these basic fundamental heavy lifting, you can just use Shatsian blocks, and if you just click browse more blocks, I think they don't really have a lot more blocks, but they have these subcategories, the list goes on. They have these task based drop downs, and honestly people miss it. Like you can just use these and work on top of it. And these, not even just, they just don't provide just like UI, they have proper code written for even pop-ups or what exactly interactions are going to be happening inside of them, but people don't really know about all this stuff. And the fun part is like these are all mobile responsive, they are available for different devices, they have all the functionalities, they work for all these setups, and you can even use custom layout to see how it looks on a desktop, but people don't really use this. And you can refresh it. The fun part is you can open in P0. I never really have done it. What I do directly in my workflow is, so they have this command npx satkin sidebar 01, and if you just put it in your code, which I did for this, you can use it, and then you can go inside, and then how you can implement custom colors. I think you can go inside themes, and you can do default orange, red, violet, yellow, blue. So I think I did blue, and then well, like copy code, and you get this file. So Tailwind, most probably you're using Tailwind, right? So you have a global CSS. You can compare this and just paste it. I think even in my global.css, right? This is literally a copy over of that. And what does this result in? This results in a prettified dashboard, like sorted within seconds, obviously. Um, so I think side scene always helps. You need to have a close design sense, and I always recommend using the sidebar provided by shared scene in this component, because According to me, this interaction is super smooth compared to normal sidebar which have like a button here. Other than that, what I usually do is I talk to cursor with a very detailed breakdown, and they also, by the way, have these subcomponent like these charts, so you can even see the code for it. How can you build custom chart? Because I think charts is something a lot of people struggle with, so they have all these charts ready to use that you can use them, and they have line chart, they have bar chart, they have pie charts, radial charts, sorry, radar charts, radial charts, and tooltips that you can view. And like 90% of, if you're working in a B2B company and you're working on these custom CRMs and dashboards, like boom, you're basically sorted. And you can see the code here, you can copy it over, you can implement your functionality inside of it. And I think that's something people don't really recognize. How do I build? From this I went to building these sub pages. What I did was, if I think I'll have to check my conversation logs, um, the last few conversations have been all about some APIs I wanted. But the way I do it is like I just give it a screenshot of the dashboard. I just take a screenshot and then I kind of break down what elements out of it I like. For example, I tell it like I really like how the initial part has a grid calls of 4 and all these elements are sorted, and then I like how the table has a table heading where you have all these components, and I has this ability to edit it and etc. And then another thing I do is, while talking about it, I spend some time on the code understanding that which of these components actually have those things present, and I tag those components out. I tag them here inside of it. Another thing I do is I don't really just directly boom go to the agent. I use plan mode. So in plan mode, you can give a lot of these custom inputs to cursor, and what it will do is it will generate a plan for you. And then during the series of events, I ask it that, hey, ask me the maximum number of questions, and ask me the questions, and henceforth I land on these UIs. Another thing you can do is, I don't know, it stopped working for me for a while, but what you can do is, if you just go to v0.dev, a lot of people have built these things, right? And what you can do is, you can just go there, you can check the link, and you can open in v0, and then from there you can see these components. And it's honestly pretty sick stuff, right? For example, page, I think it's taking time to open up, but my point being is, like, you have all these good components. There is a community that is literally focused on shipping out a lot of these components and custom stuff. So if you go to landing pages may you have all these things just lying out, you can use it. And why I am liking is, why I'm always like, oh, v0, because again, v0 is built on a philosophy of shard cn, of components used by them, and I know it will always work. So you can view these details, you can open things up, and you can see their code and implement them into your product. If you are working on dashboards, which was I showing. So you have dashboards, you have components, you have sign up, you have blog websites, you have e-commerce landing pages, and you will see a lot of your heavy lifting during this whole process. It will literally get done, and you can focus on actually implementing things like state management and things like that. For example, this agent builder, right? I think it's taking a while to open up, I don't know why. But point is, if you could see from the landing page, you could see this is a pretty complex. I think they are using React Node or something, and it has a super neat UI. I think it's built on top of Code Antonio's video, but whatever. So point is, you can see these things and you can build them out, and you can open them in v0. Whenever I try to open it, I get this error, fail to create project. I don't know why it happens, but you can prove this. If it works for you, super great. Else you can figure out the code with like right set of prompts and screenshots. And yeah, that's pretty much my whole design philosophy. If obviously it doesn't solve everything, but it takes you from someone who even struggles with what to put on the UI and just put some scrappy button. You can just tell V0 that build me a landing page, build me this, build me that. how you can use these chat scene components to get this started. Like if you're someone who's focused on functionality and doesn't want to spend time building aesthetic stuff, just use it and your life will be 100x easier. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this video.